Welcome back to Vail, Colorado. Now, over the past two episodes, we've explored adaptive spirit from two perspectives. First, the why, the origins, the intent, the people who built it. And then the who, the athletes themselves, their stories, and their journeys. But in this final episode, we bring it all together. Welcome to the great indoors, in an age where information moves faster than meaning, where we're constantly connected but not always truly in conversation. I'm your host, Matthew Roberts, and as always, I'm joined by my trusty, reliable, humorous producer, the one and only Larissa Yee. What becomes clear when you spend time here is that adaptive spirit isn't just an event. It's a community, one shaped not just by athletes and the cable industry, but by families who make extraordinary sacrifices to support these journeys, who travel, who invest, who believe, often long before the results ever come. And when those moments do arrive on the Paralympic stage halfway across the world, they're shared, not just as individual achievements, but as collective ones. And that sense of shared experience doesn't end there, because what you see at Adaptive Spirit is something quite rare. People returning year after year, not out of obligation, but because something here stays with them, something that connects. And over time, that connection evolves into something more than community, becomes impact. Not just in the lives of the athletes, but in the way the industry thinks, builds, and behaves. From advancing accessibility to opening up entirely new ways of thinking about talent, technology, and inclusion. The influence of this event extends far beyond the slopes of Vail. And perhaps more importantly, it challenges a fundamental misconception. Because the athletes you've already met across this series are not defined by disability. They are defined by performance, by character, by ambition. Their stories are not about limitation. They're about possibility. So in this final episode, we explore what adaptive spirit ultimately represents. A coming together of families, of industry, of purpose, and a reminder that when these things align, the impact can be extraordinary. One thing that struck me and is clearly unique about adaptive spirit is the importance of families. The families making the sacrifices to help their children, the athletes, realize their dreams, but the families of the organizers and the families of the companies. This is a family event. Here's Alex D'Adio from the Adaptive Spirit video team, someone who's been a part of this event for 31 years.
I think one of the things that also I feel great about is the community that has developed around adaptive spirit. And as you mentioned, family, it's also a loyalty. We've had sponsors that have been with us for most of the 31 years.
Yeah.
And that's pretty amazing when you build that community. And we've had a great front row seat to building relationships with the athletes because we get to tell their stories. And now we're to the point where every year we feature 3 different athletes, one from each discipline, snowboard, alpine, and Nordic. And that's a big part of this. So the people that do sponsor, they get to see who they're sponsoring, and just being part of someone else's dream, being a small part of their dream is pretty amazing and a very special feeling.
Here's the inspirational Ravi Drugan from Team USA Alpine.
So we met yesterday, but you were with your parents, and it's so great that your parents can join you at this event. How has it been for them, and how has it been for you with them being here?
I mean, it's amazing having my parents here. So, and they came to Cortina with me, and that was the first time they actually got to see me ski race in person, probably in like 10 years.
Wow.
So, when I first started ski racing, I didn't have a team or a coach or anything, so my dad would come with me to races. So the first few years was super just like me and my pops or me and my folks hanging out. And so to have them here and be able to bring them here and let them see the support of actually the community behind the sport I do is really nice. Because, Eugene, Oregon isn't a big ski town.
Right.
So when you say you ski there, it's kind of like, Oh, have you seen the football game? I'm like, football? Come on. So to be here and be around like so many people that show the love of our sport and want to spread that love and actually enable us to do what we love to do.
Yeah.
And that's just, there's no place like being here at Adaptive Spirit.
It is special. It's super special.
Here's Mikey O'Hearn from Team USA Alpine.
Yeah, my parents have sacrificed everything for me to get here. I think where I felt hopelessness, they really found hope, and they were a beacon of hope and possibilities for me. And so I got my parents were out there, my siblings were out there, and this journey is so much more than mine. It's a shared experience. I could not have gotten to this level of sport or the athleticism without them. So they were there to celebrate, cheer me on. It was a really emotional moment for all of us.
Oh, wow.
Here's Audrey Cowley from Team USA Alpine.
My mom and dad have come to every Adaptive Spirit with me, so it is kind of like a family event, and with the sponsor that I'm paired with, it feels like a family in that too, and they bring their daughters and sons, and it's really special to like have all these families from all across the country like come together and celebrate Adaptive Spirit together.
And I don't have family here, but I have my best friend here from college who's also a retired professional snowboarder for US Ski and Snowboard.
Oh, wow.
So very dynamic duo there.
Perfect. And does it feel like a celebration, Adaptive Spirit?
It does.
It feels like, it's been phenomenal. It's exceeded my expectations. This is my first Adaptive Spirit, and it has been jam-packed, fun-filled, and super meaningful. I mean, this is the time to celebrate, and we feel really seen, visible, and celebrated.
The one and only charismatic Patrick Holgren from Team USA Alpine.
I think a team, a family, if you're working with a, whatever you want to call it, a team, part of your discipline, or, just another department at work, that's your family. You're gonna be rubbing elbows, and especially at their worst and best too. And you see, if people are misunderstanding you, which we all misunderstand each other. All I know is Patrick Halgren,
Yeah.
But it's like the closer you are, the more deceiving it feels. And it's like, can you be kind when somebody is deceiving, is misunderstanding, is being mean to you? But if you could do that, that's that magic power, and you really learn that with your family, with your team. So
you bring that into the team then, those attributes, those qualities that are instilled into you.
It's like, hey, take your job serious, bust your butt. But everything else kind of don't take serious, and like just spread love. And then you'll build that village, you'll build that family. And you'll try to just kind of not, we're all so bad at controlling our mind, when anger comes into me, when somebody cuts me and my van off, but there's anger, there's real anger there. But it's like, once you recognize that, you can kind of put that fire out. But it's so hard to do that in so many situations, right? That's kind of, I think, life. And I was just really fortunate to kind of have to deal with that on an extreme level with the one leg, I think. So it's like made me kind of reveal my character and be like, oh no, I was just such a jerk. Like, I gotta not do that again. And you do a consistent routine of that, and you get better at it and better at it. More people give you love. And I almost feel selfish at this point, going around and just being genuine and loving people, but like, you can use their love, and then it's this beautiful thing of family too. And
it's what's the word, symbiotic, right? You're feeding off everybody else.
The impact of Adaptive Spirit is so profound. It's no wonder people return year after year.
I started about 25 years ago coming to the Adaptive Spirit event.
The wonderful Nomi Bergman, board member and president of Advanced Newhouse Investment Partnership.
I started coming, I have 3 daughters, and I started coming with my oldest daughter, Rebecca. And she probably came with me for about 10 years. Wow. So she knew the event and the athletes, as well as I did. And it was a very formative part of her growing up. And I think
I've heard that. We had a guest on, Leanne, yesterday. She would come here with her mother every year.
Really?
And it was part of her childhood and growing up. And now she's working at the event for the marketing team.
That's beautiful.
Leanne Humphreys used to attend this event as a child. Now she works at Adaptive Spirit.
So I used to attend, or my parents would attend, and I'd get to run around and be a kid. But now I'm actually part of the registration staff. So working the event, helping with check-in and those sorts of things. For as long as I can remember, we've been coming up here every year, and getting to.
And how are the memories? Do you have some good memories of this event?
I do, yes. Well, obviously, when I was a kid, I wasn't fully understanding everything. But the past few years, I've gotten to attend some of the panels or those like kind of fireside chats.
Yeah.
And it has always been really cool, and you find all these little commonalities, and you see the strength that these people have.
Yeah.
And it is, I would agree, because sometimes emotional, but it always is very inspiring.
You know, to show them, for them to meet the athletes and learn the adversity that they had to manage, and you know, how they embraced whatever their disability was, and made it like into almost a shining feature of them.
Yes.
You know, and made something really wonderful come of that.
Yeah.
And I think it was a really terrific thing for my kids to see. So anyhow, I first came with Rebecca, and then I came with Allie for about 20 years, or 10 years, and then lately I've been, Dory, my middle daughter, is here with me now and has been here with me for the past few years. Yeah.
Oh wow, excellent, really excellent.
So it's great.
Yeah. And they enjoy it?
Oh, they love it. It's
and do
great.
the elder ones ask you questions about it in sort of, because they weren't obviously.
Sure, they remember the people. They ask me about them. They follow them in the Paralympics. You know, quite a number of the people that we like really cherish were in the Paralympics this year.
Oh wow, that's really special.
It really is.
Yeah.
Bart Garton from the Adaptive Spirit video team.
This has happened several times because we've been here for so long. Sandy Ducat was one of the sweepers of the Alpine event. The ladies Alpine swept the podium, gold, silver, bronze. And we just remember that moment was so fantastic. Sandy was a young, kind of new to the team and just killing it. But then we got to see several years later, Sandy retire. Then Sandy got married. Then Sandy had a baby, and now Sandy is running this organization, or she's running the event.
Yeah.
So it's really great to see that whole circle of what the athletes' progression. Really cool that we got to be there for the whole thing.
You know, maybe one of my favorite things is the team makes videos highlighting, you know, telling one of the athletes' stories, and because I really cherish the athletes' stories, those videos are particularly remarkable for me to see, because you get to learn. You know, they just do a beautiful job of bringing the whole athlete's story together and telling it in such a brilliant way. Things always come alive in video in such a brilliant way, right? And sometimes something in video is better than in real life, right? But so one of my daughters, Allie, the youngest, when we would come home, we would get a disc of the videos, and she would watch them over and over again.
Wow.
So, you know, so we really, that athlete became like such a larger than life figure in her life.
Yeah.
Right. So then when we would come back the next year, she was so excited to see that athlete in person, having watched that video so many times. So I think that's one of the really special memories.
Adaptive Spirit isn't just a fundraising event, however. It has tangible business impacts, especially around accessibility.
What are the common misunderstandings in the industry as a whole, do you think, around accessibility?
It's a big question. From a business perspective, you want to build your product for everyone, period. That means anyone.
Steve Raymond, Adaptive Spirit co-founder.
Make sure that anybody can access, you know, wireless phone, video, voice, data. And so the other side of that is we want to make sure that the tools we have internally can be used with people with disabilities. It opens a whole new set of hiring opportunities for us. Because the disability community has a higher percentage of unemployment, but there's so much talent. And if you put together the right technology and the tool sets, you could have a very loyal population of disability talent.
Rich DiGeronimo, President, Product and Technology at Charter Communications.
I think the experiences of Adaptive Spirit have helped me lean in and invest deeply in accessibility technology. You know, I had the good fortune of having my own product design team. As part of that design team, we built an accessibility lead, and over time we built an accessibility center of excellence. And I think a lot of my motivation to invest in those areas actually stem from these experiences. And the beauty of our accessible technology is, I hate to say it this way, but you don't have to be, blind to be visually impaired. You don't have to be deaf to have a hearing impairment. We might be old. And I hate to say it that way, but as we age, you're able to leverage a lot of this accessible technology that doesn't just serve people with disabilities, it actually serves the masses. And when you can do that, it's a much easier investment case to communicate to the company. And then I think it also, through that investment, we've been able to invent a number of things. And we've had teams go to Washington, D.C. and accept like a Helen Keller Award that, is really meaningful for them, but it's also really meaningful for the company. And I think it gives a lot of people a sense of pride in what we do. It's not just a corporation. It's a corporation that can also, invent and help. And so anyway, it's a long-winded way of saying that a lot of that's rooted actually and spawned from this event. Yeah, and I think that's the key, especially, look, as industries change, as companies get bought and sold, as, the world just changes with some vendors that are in or out, it's important that we try to bring in new faces every year so that we can continue to diversify the audience, because once you do feel it, you tend to get hooked. And we just want to make sure that this can last for a really, really long time, even as technology and media and communications industries change.
The quite fabulous Brenna Huckabee, Team USA Snowboard, and now part of the Amdocs team.
Disability and being around people with disabilities, which I don't know if you've ever been in a space where there's this many disabled people around.
Probably not. No.
I think there's like a certain level of vulnerability that's just naturally expressed.
Yeah.
And so maybe there is this opening within yourself of wait, I can connect to a human just on a different level because there's just an inherent vulnerability within disabled
I think
people.
it is. I think it's really, really remarkable.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, even when we were speaking with Patrick, but that video of him crossing the line when he won the silver, right? And he was showing us the video. That was the story because it was so incredible.
Exactly.
That's the story.
Yeah.
That's what took my breath away.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
We are here because these athletes are adaptive, but that is such a small part of what these kids, adults, athletes are. Yeah. It's for one, it's amazing because they are elite athletes. They're amazing, just as amazing as the able-bodied Olympians that we all see. These ones are just missing a wheel, as one of them told me. Yeah. And so they are incredible athletes, but they also are, to a T, smart, knowledgeable. They've got great personalities. They've persevered through some serious stuff. A lot more than most of us have. Yeah. So that has really strengthened their character. And they are by no means just someone in a wheelchair who's done amazing things. They're also unbelievably interesting to talk to. Yeah.
I would add on to what Bart said and this comes from the words of some of the athletes we've interviewed over the years and done stories on, whatever their disability might be, that does not define them. Yeah. And for most of them, they'd want to put that secondary to the people they are.
Danny Arovich, Team USA Nordic.
One of the things, though, that I think makes me unique alongside Brenna is we actually started a media company called Cultured to try to elevate Paralympic stories and Paralympic athletes. So outside of our training and competing, we run a business together in the media space.
Give me some of the background if you could, Danny.
Yeah, would you like to start?
I guess.
Yeah.
About a year and a half ago, Danny was doing these Instagram videos and they were called Paralympic Roundups. And she was posting it on her page. And I reached out to her and I'm like, I love this, but why are you the one that is doing the Paralympic media of other athletes? So it wasn't her career, it was other athletes' careers. Yeah. And I was like, why aren't bigger media brands doing this. I didn't know about these athletes and how they were doing. And
this was on your webpage?
This is just Instagram.
On my own
on your
social
Instagram.
media.
Okay, okay, right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't know. I think it's like maybe a very unique thing in the Paralympic space, but so many of us have had to advocate for ourselves very hard in so many different facets of our lives. And so when I saw what she was doing, I was like, well, if nobody else is going to do it, why don't we? And that's like kind of how it started. We started brainstorming from there and built it into what it is today. But yeah, it was about like Media Collective getting Paralympic athletes to share their stories in a way that they're proud of, and being an athlete first. That's another part of our mission I can let Danny speak on, but yeah.
And so are you creating video or case studies? How do you take those stories? How do you then package them, and how do you distribute them?
So far, we've focused a lot on social media channels. We do have editorial work with writers to do written pieces for our website. We actually consult on documentaries now. We just worked on a documentary that came out on Peacock right before the Paralympics about a historic Paralympic team. And we are trying to get potentially into the podcast space, do more in documentaries.
Well, we could help you with the podcast.
Do you guys know anyone?
So and then just going to continue to try to build it. We do merchandise and going to try to work with brands and other media companies. But what one of the core ethos of the company is we want to get the stories out there, but we want to get them out in the right way. Because often when Paralympic stories have been picked up by major media outlets, it's often told in a way that can actually be quite harmful to the athlete or to the disability community. Right. It's something that we...
Is that because they tend to sensationalize or catastrophize on those stories?
Absolutely. Right. We call it inspiration porn, and it's kind of this idea of taking people with disabilities and putting them into this light that's very like focused on the inspiration of just being disabled rather than putting that sport and the athlete first. And so we want to educate the greater media on how they can tell the stories in a way that's actually athlete first, focused on high performance sport rather than the disability narrative that's often the despite narrative. So we see a lot of headlines if they make major news saying, you know, despite losing her leg, despite being born without her arm, they did this, but it's not despite at all. It's she won the medal. She went to her third Paralympics.
It's not because of, in spite of, or it happened because of it. It's that's just another factor in the story, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow, I love it. That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah. And so what's next then? Where do you go with it from here? There's a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. We just covered our first Paralympics because we started right after the Paris Games. Okay. And so kind of with what we're focused on these coming months is there was more attention and eyeballs on parasport because of the games. And there was more media covering it. But now the sports continue. Yeah. They don't stop. Like people have World Cups and World Championships and there's sports, you know, summer, winter sports that are not in the Paralympics that still have elite level. So we're really trying to remind people who might have finally paid attention during the games that it doesn't stop, it continues. And so we're going to try to cover as many of those and then hopefully do some cool stuff for LA 28.
Yep.
I think the way you guys conduct yourselves, the way you articulate the stories feels much more human to me than, you know, when I hear other sports people in other parts of the world. Maybe it's just some of the sports people I've met, but I think that's a credit to yourselves.
I think like it's also important to just remember we're not saying like disabled athletes can't share those stories or they shouldn't share those stories of how they became disabled and whatnot. Like for some people that's really cathartic and like healing and it definitely is helpful to somebody going through that as well. It's just how and when you want to share those stories. I jumped into like the Paralympic media space, just came with the wave of the growth of Paralympics. And when I first started, it was expected that my cancer journey was going to be what I told. And it just felt like I was exploiting a part of myself before I really got to understand it.
Such a good point.
So I think like a part of Cultured is we want people to not feel like that's the only story they have to tell. Like
It's a chapter in the book.
100%.
But it's not the only chapter, and it shouldn't be the chapter that's first and prominent.
Exactly.
Basically it.
If it's not for you, then you don't have. It doesn't have to be what you tell.
And our final thoughts.
I think for me, it's when I ski with some of the para athletes who are in a sit ski, okay? And when they're in a sit ski, meaning it's really one ski underneath them, they're seated in it. They use their poles, also as like a very short ski. And the first time I skied with someone who was going about 65 miles an hour. And then there was like a roller, where I'm gonna slow down, and they just launched off of that and landed it. And I was like, this is a different type of athlete. I think that's been big. I think for us as a sponsor, so Charter, we've been involved as a platinum sponsor for a long time. It's one of the big events that I try to place a lot of emphasis on. I'm thankful that the company is willing to support me and this event. We've been able to sponsor athletes over the years. This past year we sponsored Kendall Gresh. Kendall won 4 medals at the Paralympic Games here in Cortina. We've gotten to know her, not just as an athlete, but our whole exec team has gotten to know her as a human, as someone who is tireless in her pursuit of greatness. And that's been big. I'll give you the last one. We were watching my family was watching the Paralympics on Peacock, and I give NBC and Peacock a lot of credit. They air all the events. It's accessible now for us to see it, which in the past it wasn't. And we were watching the games at dinner with my family, and my 14-year-old son looked over at me as we were watching the Alpine racers come down, and this was the visually impaired category. So these racers, they Alpine ski at high speed with a guide in front of them, just communicating, in a microphone into their ears so they can know how to get down that course at really high speed. I mean, it's talk about trust. And one of the athletes was going down, her name's Meg, and my son looked at me, he goes, I skied with Meg last year. How great is that? And that connection. Another one was Andrew Kirka coming down on a sit ski. He was a medal winner. Yeah, and he's the man. And having my kids say, oh, we took a photo with Andrew. And it's been really intertwined into our family. So there's not just one, it's kind of all those moments together. I was just thankfully in a little photo shoot with Kendall because we sponsor her, and she had her 4 medals. And I'll tell you what, I was more nervous holding her 4 medals as she was getting adjusted than I was my wife's wedding ring, because and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of weight, literally, in that. It's a beautiful thing.
So we're sponsoring Brenna Huckabee.
Oh, I love Brenna.
And we took her for dinner last night, and we're looking at, with Brenna, doing a campaign to help bridge the AI divide across the United States.
Oh, terrific. Wow.
So, remember the old digital divide? This is almost the successor of that, in that there is an uneven distribution of AI usage and knowledge across the population, and the people that have some sort of advantage are going to get ahead at the expense of others, maybe on economic factors or other demographics. So it's a campaign that's hopefully going to try and address that situation. But
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, it should be.
Brenna will do a great job of making it very, very approachable.
And I think it's when you look at again, going back to sort of the children of AI natives, and they adapt it, they start using it, but there's no playbook, there's no instruction. This thing is moving so fast, it's changing so quickly.
Right.
So how do we ensure that everybody else keeps up, young, old, in every industry, in every...
Absolutely.
And I think, Brenna's would be a wonderful ambassador, I think, for us to help, get that initiative moving.
We have people that have been here for 31 years. They keep coming back because they get the movement, they understand the impact we make to fund the athletes in their journey. So I think you're right. People feel good about it. You not only have you bring your business partners, you can spend times on the hill, but you all feel good about what you're doing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people now make personal commitments, just besides their company sponsoring.
Exactly.
We started an endowment probably 20 years ago, and now it's over 3.5 million. All that money goes directly to athletes.
Wow.
So there's multiple ways that we can support the athletes through this event.
The silent auction, I think, is probably one of the largest and most important events for us as a team, and that's why I donate to it every year.
Andrew Kirker, Team USA, Alpine.
And so I own a bed and breakfast in Alaska. It's a hunting and fishing lodge. I'm a pilot up there and a boat captain, and I take people with disabilities out fishing and out hunting and out into the great outdoors of nature. And I must say that I'm looking forward to having people visit. Maybe. It'd be very cool. It's called Golden Standard B&B, and I built it with my earnings that I got from the games in 2018, Pyeongchang. I won a gold and silver in the downhill and Super G, and I took all of that funding and I built a cabin on 5 acres with these own 2 hands.
Oh wow!
And
where can our listeners find? Is it a webpage?
What? Golden Standard B&B.com, like Bravo, Nancy Bravo, Golden Standard.
Whereabouts in Alaska are you?
It's in Palmer, Alaska.
Okay.
I'm on a little airstrip in Palmer, Alaska near Hatcher Pass.
Wow, sounds heavenly.
Yeah, it's very nice, and it started with one little hillbilly cabin, and then I built it into something quite nice.
Wow.
That's worthy, and...
Sounds great.
Yeah.
And a lot of wildlife up there, right?
Oh, so much wildlife. Yeah. Moose in the yard every day.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
We don't just utilize, vendor sponsorships. You can also, donate individually as well. That's, I think it's important to know that the U.S. Paralympic team, none of their funding comes from the U.S. government. $0.
Yeah.
It all comes through donation, and so. Look, I think it's important, even if you're not here with a company, but you can potentially come out and donate. That would be great. And to the extent you're listening and you want to kind of nudge your corporate marketing team to potentially reach out, we'd be happy to chat with you.
And so, as we come to the end of this series, what began as a story about an event has become something far more meaningful. A story about people. People who built it, the athletes who give it purpose, and the families, partners and communities who make it all possible. Because when you step back, adaptive spirit isn't defined by a single moment, a single year, a single medal, or even one of those single stories. It's defined by connection. Unusual connections between sports and industry, between performance and purpose, between individuals who choose to show up and make a difference for something bigger than themselves or their organizations. And that's what stays with you. Not just what these athletes achieve and can achieve, but how they approach it in their mindset, their discipline, and their perspective. A reminder that performance isn't just about outcomes. It's how you respond and how you adapt and how you keep moving forward. For me, this was the first experience of adaptive spirit. It won't be my last. Because once you've seen what this represents, it has a way of staying with you. Until next time, this has been The Great Indoors.
This, actually, I might get this tattooed.
You should. I'll get it tattooed.
Yeah. Next year. Bring
We're
the
on
tattoo
it.
stuff.
We're on
you
it.
know.
100%.
My wife would kill me, but what the hell?
Amazing. Thank
There we
you
go,
so
Sarah.
much. This is beautiful.